negative. Latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You got to spread joy up to the maximum. Bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith or pandemonium, liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate his last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? Man, they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, do not mess with Mr. In Between. Do you hear me? Oh, listen to me, children, and you will hear about the eliminating of the negative and an accent on a positive. Gather round me, children, if you're willing, and sit tight while I start reviewing the attitude of doing right. You gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You got to spread joy up to the maximum. Bring gloom down to the minimum. Then otherwise, pandemonium, liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate, my last remark. You got the floor. Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they say? What did they say? Say when everything looks so dark. Man, they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between.
Haha. You know it? You know it. We always gotta start our lives with a little bit of love. No. What's that old, right? Oh my goodness. How's everybody doing tonight? Yes. You know, I will try to mess with my volume, but I tell you what happens is, that better? Is that better? Did you get the phone out? I'm gonna get the phone out. External. Oh, I see what the. Let's try that. Maybe that'll be. Is that better? Okay, there. A little bit better. I'll see. Is everybody doing okay tonight? No, I'm deep breathing. Everybody doing okay? There we go. Okay, so you're getting the sound through. No, I'm deep breathing. Right? Excuse me. It's okay, only deep breathe for you, blissful. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We need some positivity up in this place. I'll tell you what. It's almost like our little secret corner, isn't it, guys? We're over here in our little secret corner of YouTube. You can't set the gnomes on fire. Texas is having technical difficulties.
Don't you mean technical difficulties? It's a play on Texan.
Or Texican difficulties.
Texan.
Texan.
Texans. That's
Yes, our little happy bubble, and nobody better come in it. No, I'm just kidding. We accept people in our happy bubble, but they gotta be chill people too.
Why am I allowed in the happy bubble? I'm not very chill. I'm aggressive as hell.
Well, Nugget, we make an exception for you.
I'm just that wonderful.
I've got to live with you.
Yeah, can't really get rid of me.
I don't want to get rid of you.
Good. Because you won't. For a very long time.
Nope, you got to live with me till I'm old.
What do you mean? You're already old.
I know I'm old, but, you know, you got to live with me for the rest of my life.
That won't be very long.
Wow.
I'm fucking around.
Wow. Wowzers.
You're talking to Nugget. You expect no aggression or sarcastic comments.
You take after your dad, man.
I take after you too, you know.
Oh, I'm not that mean.
Debatable when you're angry.
Takes a lot to get me mad, though.
That is also debatable.
Two gingers talking. Is it echoing?
Hold on.
Or is it
Are
Nugget in the background sounds like me?
If you're talking about me, I'm not ginger. I have blue hair.
You have blue hair, yeah.
And if you're talking about echoing, well, I think I know the problem. I'm kidding.
No, it wasn't echoing in a
I'm
minute.
messing
I
with
think
you.
it's because you sound a lot like me.
Hi, Blissful.
Nugget says hi.
They can hear me. Your mic is very easy to pick up my audio. Plus, I'm very loud.
Oh, heavens.
Did you take that picture in the car?
Yeah.
Hey, 71.
It was a picture that I took on the way to, teachers' conferences for your sister.
I don't want to be a teacher.
You know, one of those, she's too nice and someone's gonna run over her.
I run other people over.
Now she's
Monster truck.
got a little more
I could.
backbone now that she's in high school.
I do.
She's just polite about it. Unlike you. You're just vicious.
That's the point. It's kill or be killed. Not a good
It's a
moral.
dog eat dog world, huh?
No, it's nugget eat everyone world.
Oh. Nugget make everyone a nugget world. Nyam, chomp, chomp. Oh my god.
It still tastes salty.
Hey, you're salty. You're a salty.
No, I'm sweaty.
You're a salty nugget.
Salty nuggets taste bad. I'm a nugget covered in ranch. Get it right.
Nope.
I also learned how Worcestershire sauce is made.
Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. You know, you had to pick one of the words that's just so hard for me to enunciate properly. Anyway. Oh, yay. You love that sauce on a bloody steak. Mr. G makes a killer, what is it? It's pepper steak with it. He makes pepper steak with Worcester sauce. Worcestershire sauce. I may be renaming this stream. Worcestershire sauce. And that would be my soccer mom pick. Yay. Yeah, but who can afford those anymore? Hey, what up, Texas? Dad meet y'all. Roadkill. No. I kid you not. I don't know what the state laws are where y'all are from, but if you hit a deer with your car here, if you call it in to DNR or Department of Natural Resources, or, you know, basically they come out, they take, or they'll have highway patrol come out, they'll take note of it, and then it's like, do you want to keep it? You have the choice of taking it, you know. Shoot, after it kills your car, you know. Not much, man. Not much, Texas. Just figured we'd come on, have a little chit chat, have a little fun, you know. Focus on the positive, eliminate the negative, you know. Because there's so many people out here just are so negative. Even the ones that come on and go, I'm all about positivity. But guess what? Susan ticked me off today, and everybody go unsubscribe from Susan. You know, like, really? If you're all about positivity, stop talking about negative things. Or quit throwing shade everywhere. Oh, horror-themed jewelry? That's a good idea, Blissful. You do that. You do that, and I'll let you show it on my channel anytime. We'll have Blissful's jewelry sales. Oh, well, you know, the secret to making jello. No, I'm just kidding. You know, I love it in this room too, because we have fun. We have fun. You know what's funny? It's like, you know when you're setting up your channel, when you get in the YouTube studio, you can actually ban certain words, okay? And the only word that I banned, and that's for purposes later on down the road if I ever do monetization, was the F word, you know? And that's because if you bomb that too much, you get demonetized anyway, and if it shows up in your chat, you get demonetized. So that's why if you're a mod, it'll say you can use it, or you know, it has to go through you guys. I'm not worried about it until, you know, 2-3 years down the road if I ever can. Oh, I tell you what, I had to get creative with the words. When I was raising my kids, I had to get creative. I mean, I was saying some pretty... Oh yes, what was it? Oh, my kids made fun of me because, you know, they knew what word it was. They knew what word I wanted to say so bad. Oh, let it out, Mom. Let it out. Nope. I was like, I think I stubbed my toe or something and, like, split it open. It was bad, and I'm like, son of a smurf and smurf. Hey, Gigi, how you doing, sweetheart? Horror channel suggestions. If permissible, yes, you always have a say, Texas. Always. What's up?
Can I turn on my fan so I can get some sleep?
Do what?
Can I turn on my fan to get some sleep?
Yes, you can turn your fan on to get some sleep. Where's my smooches?
This wasn't in the contract.
It's not in the contract.
You'll be hearing,
Right there, mommy's cheek. Right now. Right now.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer.
I'll be hearing from your lawyer.
It's forced connotation. I'm being forced to something that I didn't consent to. Okay, and you're my mother.
Ugh, loopholes.
Hey, Leslie, that's not your food.
Oh, I haven't seen Little Shop of Horrors in forever, Gigi. Feed me, Seymour.
Mom, make sure the boys don't go in the area of my room because they will sneak in. They always sneak into my room.
Try to keep the poochies away from you.
They will sneak down the hall.
We'll go tell them night-night and open my door. They'll go in there and they'll curl up.
I'm too tired.
Okay, that's no problem.
Can you do it when you have the chance?
Sure
When you're done and all, can you do it?
will.
Better.
I'll tell the boys to go night-night. They'll start running. But they're not gonna go night-night as long as they see me. Evil Dead chick. You have never seen Little Shop of Horrors? Oh my goodness. Let me guess, you've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show either. You would, 71. You'd like that mess, huh? It's along the same lines if you think about it. Didn't Steve Martin play the dentist? Because he had a talent for causing pain. Awesome, you're innocent. You're innocent, 71. You're innocent. I know that they have, I think, in the next, it's not this month, but next month, they have an Evil Dead, I want to say like an Evil Dead marathon at the AMC Theater. And my 22-year-old son was telling his friends, yeah, I'm going to get tickets ahead of time. And he goes, I'm going to get a couple tickets. And they're like, who are you going to take? You don't have a girlfriend right now. And he goes, I'm going to take my mom. And they started saying, your mom? You're going to take your mom, dude? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah,
my
what
mom.
a loser, taking his mom to the theater.
Right?
Anyways, I'm back to bother you guys again with my cereal of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which happens to be my favorite. That and Mini-Wheats.
Oh, he's like, my mom's the one who got me into it. He goes, my mom showed me Evil Dead movies when I was younger, and I really enjoyed them, and that's what got me into it. Can't make fun of him for loving his mommy.
That's not your dog.
A red wedding gown. Or at least one with spatters on it.
Here's what you do. You get a wedding gown. You just dye the entire bottom half randomly red. Leave it wet on the bottom part and walk down the aisle. Best horror-themed wedding ever.
You don't say the W word.
Ready? Like Freddie Fazbear?
Really? Gigi? Oh, wow. But you have like, don't you have like 4 kids? I was thinking you had like 4. Is it like, if I remember right, I don't know if I remember right, like you have 3 girls and a boy, I think? I may be wrong.
A punk rock wedding? That, it worked for that one too. Totally hardcore.
A punk rock wedding. Yeah, that'd be cool. I know my niece, when she had her wedding, was it 4 years ago?
I don't know, I never went.
Yeah, you did. You didn't go to the reception with me? Yeah, you did.
Oh, the one with the...
Purple wedding gown?
And the one where I was forced to dance for 40 minutes straight
Yeah.
because of my cousins.
Yes. I was gonna say, Jersey had you out on the dance floor for like hours. And then Dominic
A part of me died that day.
did break dancing on the dance floor, and he did a whole bunch of
That
moves.
was funny.
And he moonwalked, and they're like, oh my gosh. And then your cousin Jeremy comes up and starts laughing, and he goes, what did he say? He said, that his cousin Dominic was gonna steal his girlfriend because Jeremy don't dance, and he's like, but I have to dance now or lose my girlfriend and my cousin because he's got all the moves.
Number 3 really has got some moves.
He can dance, man.
And he can run really fast, and it's terrifying. I remember one time.
And he can sing.
He can. I remember one time in kindergarten where I challenged my older brother. I challenged him to a race, so I started running. He stayed at the end of the street. You know the one where the stop is? Yeah. He stayed right there. I got like to the midsection of the street.
Mm-hmm.
And he started fucking running.
And blew past you.
He blew past me and hit me upside the head.
Oh, that is sweet.
Hey, that's 4 days
Gigi.
before. That's 4 days before my birthday. Happy early anniversary for wedding renewals.
Yeah.
I got
To
that.
Gigi and Derek. Yeah.
Yep, to Gigi and Derek. From the wonderful and talented Nugget.
Nugget box, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Well, they're a sweet couple and they deserve all of it.
Yep.
See? That's positivity, yo. And we need more of that on the tubes, right?
Well, it depends on which thing. But
Well,
there's always bad parts to
I
everything.
mean, not everybody has to get married to be happy, though. Let's be honest.
I'm happy as is.
Oh, really? Your birthday's November 13th?
Hey, it fell in November, babe. I mentioned this already, but the 26th.
So she's a Scorpio.
The year I was born was actually, it was a year where Thanksgiving was on the 27th.
Yeah.
So, I'm called the turkey baby because of that.
Yeah. You're the turkey baby.
And I also always torture them with eating pasta on Thanksgiving when it's on my birthday. Because
You pick
slay.
your birthday meal. Yeah.
That is a universal rule in this family.
Yep. In this family, you get to pick your
Birthday meal.
birthday meal.
We also
And
get
it's like, oh, spaghetti for Thanksgiving?
Again?
Really?
They always get your...
So what we do is
they
we'll
tired
end
of
up
it.
having Thanksgiving dinner the day before or the day after your birthday.
Deviled eggs are good, trust me. 10 out
But
of
you
10,
still require the deviled eggs, so...
Yeah, no matter what day it is, deviled eggs.
That's part of your dinner, huh? Claim crouton on your taxes. Right? Crouton. Just don't be telling people that. We want people to think crouton's real. So when we do the fundraiser for croutons, medication.
You want to know a true crime story?
I always
Me
knew-
being born. Anyway, that's a true crime story.
Yes, Blissful. I knew that crouton was imaginary.
Crouton doesn't exist. Only figment of imagination.
But crouton's cute.
My cat's not cuter than mine, baby. No one's cuter than me, though. I will fight to the death for that.
Crouton was drinking with me the other day, then said it was going back home and was going to listen to GWAR.
What a cereal.
What did Crouton have to drink that day? No.
Vodka.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I mean, I just love Crouton anyway. It's a good personality. Crouton was traumatized by NC. Drop the PayPal link. Crouton was almost kidnapped by a fish. Just so y'all know. Crouton is actually in therapy, yes, for his identity crisis, because that creator keeps trying to kidnap his name. Keeps trying to steal his identity from him.
No, identity fraud.
Oh, rum and milk? Well, at least it's not Pepsi and milk. Remember that from Laverne and Shirley, guys?
Pilk. Pepsi and milk is pilk.
Pepsi and milk.
You want to know what you call a snicker and a pickle? A snickle.
A what?
A snickle.
Ew.
People actually like that though. I mean, I wouldn't mind trying
My
it.
mom actually drank Pepsi and milk. And
Oh my God.
I was like, I didn't realize it was a real thing. But my mom drank Pepsi and milk, and I guess it was a thing they did in the 50s. And she goes, yeah. So I tried it, and I'm like, well, it wasn't too bad, but I wouldn't want it all the time. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of Pepsi, and I'm not a fan of milk.
Pilk is gross.
I did too. I loved that show. I was such a Laverne. I was such a Laverne. Oh no. No.
No.
No threats there. Crouton's not going to eat that fish. It'd be some type of weird kind of stomach indigestion thing.
Why would Crouton eat the blobfish?
I don't like pickles. I was pregnant 4 times. Oh my gosh, I can remember. Okay, so I was the youngest out of 5 daughters for my mother, right? I mean, I know she had 8 kids, but 5 of us were girls. And I can remember her, like, always being paranoid. You know, you get teen daughters, and you always get, you know, she would get paranoid. And she'd be checking the lady products to make sure they were being used, and all sorts of stuff, right? Anyway, I wasn't even active. I was still the big V, right? And I got sick of, like, being questioned about it, you know? It was really annoying and a real big hassle. So, I come home, and it was like I worked or went to school. That's what I did. I have no time for any shenanigans. So, I think it was in a day that I didn't have to work one of my jobs, but I came home after school, and I got in the freezer, and I just started scooping some ice cream. Then I grabbed pickle relish and just stuck it in there.
What the fuck?
And then I grabbed, and my mom's eyes just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Ginger.
And then
What is wrong with you?
And then I put mustard in it.
What the?
And it was the most disgusting thing I ever ate.
Then
But
why'd you eat it?
But I ate it anyway, and I went, I don't know why I'm craving this. Oh boy.
Ginger. I want to move out now.
I'm telling you, if you got questioned every day, you know, and if my mom wasn't going through my stuff, but my older sister would go through my drawers, and she would read my diary. So I had
That's
two
why I-
diaries, like, I had 2 diaries going, I had, like, some people have double books going on, you know, when they're running a business, so they can hide some shady stuff.
I don't have a diary for that reason.
I had 2 diaries going. I was making up stuff in one. I mean, I was just pulling things out. I had imaginary people in my
Oh, sorry.
wowzers.
That was some good ass sip. This is some good cinnamon. Cinnamon milk.
We could do a poor video with a little kitty.
Before Diva.
Yes, you have. It is paramount that you have 2 diaries, especially if you're hiding something. Now, I did it for the opposite reason. I made a juicy diary so that I would actually look like I had some awesome things going on.
It turns out half of them.
I wasn't doing anything, but hey, I had to make that just to prove that my sister was a snoop.
Having siblings sucks.
How your mom wrote both and said you were boring? Well, my mother was all, oh, that's an invasion of her privacy. But what does it say? You know, like...
Ginger, you, if I had a diary, you just read it and say, this is boring. Back in my day, we didn't have no emotional trauma. I'm kidding. That's the most boomer thing I could think of. Just
How many times I'm not a boomer?
I know, but that was the most boomer thing I could think of.
Oh.
Back in my day, we didn't have emotional trauma. Actually, you did. You just couldn't realize it because you didn't get the proper help. Anyway, I like being too smart for my own good.
He kept your secrets very deep.
Same. No one knows any. Not even Ginger knows my deepest, darkest secret.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
It's that I like Minimin.
I remember at one point that I had this diary going for months, right?
No.
And I knew my sister was feeding my mom false information from that diary.
Oh.
So, what I did,
Like,
I wrote in it finally, what I said is, I'm writing in this one so my sister, blah, 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 doesn't know that, blah, blah, blah. And she has no idea that I'm doing blah, blah, blah. And then guess what? I made out with her boyfriend. I mean, I was making up some crap just to... Oh, man, I'm telling you. I even made two fake joints out of oregano and receipt paper. I mean...
I'd do that. Just to mess with you guys. I'd do
and
that.
burned it. And the funny thing is, she took it to my mom and goes, I found a joint in her room. And my mom lit it up and said, nope, that's oregano. She goes, how do you know? She goes, that's not premium weed. I know premium weed. I used to smoke it, like. She goes, you can't tell me that's weed. She goes, that's oregano. She goes, for one thing, she goes, it's brown. And she goes, and dry. She goes, gotta be good, green, and sticky.
How do you know all this? Did your sister tell you, or did you
My
find
mom
out?
said, I was standing there laughing. I was standing there laughing. I go, it's not what you think it is. You're making a fool out of yourself. Nope, go ahead.
I didn't intentionally let my siblings make fool of themselves because it's hilarious and entertaining to me. And honestly, they always make a fool of me. I get my just reserves.
You don't tell on your siblings. That's the funny part.
Yeah, they tell me secret. I ain't telling shit because 1, 2, I get profit.
Yeah, well,
They don't pay me. They make me-
well, I was smart, man. I mean, I was enterprising.
No, the trick is you gotta branch out.
Blissful, that's a good one. I was an only child, but I had an imaginary brother who my parents liked better. Ow! Sorry, guys.
What crazy person puts their foot there?
This crazy one.
You are very crazy, though.
Okay. And told me to not date bad boys. And I did. Oh, you dated the bad boys. You know, I dated one bad boy.
Why do it? They're just dumbasses.
I dated a variety.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, but I only had like 6 boyfriends ever. So it was just a.
In my book,
I mean, only one was a bad boy out of the 6.
Wow.
Oh, 7. I'm sorry, I dated 7 guys.
That's even worse.
But one was a bad boy. One was a punk rocker. Couple jocks. And nerds. I liked nerds. I liked me some nerdy boys. I got into the weird nerdy boys, you know? I would have been the first to hook up with Bill Gates in high school, you know what I mean? Oh, wow. You wanted sisters? I ended up with 4 of those. And, oh, I should take that back. 5 if you count my half sister. And she was Looney Tunes. Yep, dated punk rocker. Yep, dated a Rotsy guy too. He ended up going all the way through college on a ROTC scholarship. There we go. We'll be your replacement, Sister 71. Only way your mom was upset by it is if you dated young Republicans. I think my mom didn't like the jocks. Like, I dated 2 jocks out of all those. I dated kind of a guy that really... Okay, I'm going to put him in bad boy category because later he ended up in jail. He went to prison, so... Wow. I just thought I dated 7 guys, 3 of them ended up in prison. One went to prison for driving the getaway car at a bank robbery. Another went to prison for, what was it? Distributing drugs later, you know. Years after I dated. And the third one ended up going to prison for killing his wife. I may have dodged a bullet. And then, you know what? They're only hearing my side of the conversation in this live. So they're like, oh, Ginger only dates guys that go to prison. She's so horrible. Well, it's a cultural thing, Gigi. I know that one of my daughter's boyfriend was Latino, and they broke up like twice because he was so worried about his parents, what they would think, you know. And finally, he told them, "Hey, um, I really like this girl. She's a sweetheart, but she's white," you know, like. I'm an angel compared to you, 71. I remember, everybody, when they're teenagers, they go through things, right? And I can remember, I've already been over that, like, several times that, like, I always worked. And when I was going through high school, I worked all the time and went to school, right? And I can remember it was over something with my older sister. Okay, my older sister was a little bit flighty and irresponsible. Okay, so she was like 9 years older than me, and she was 26, 27 at the time, and she would get a place. She wouldn't be paying her bills, and that's where some of our household money was going. It was going to paying my sister's bills, and I'd get mad because here I was going to high school, busting my butt, working 2 jobs, and my mom was giving my sister money instead of paying our bills. So things would get shut off or whatever. Anyway, so I kind of got into it with my mom about being responsible with money. And I was 17 at the time. I was like, I said, our household income, I'm talking to my adult mother, who was in her 50s, right? Or, early 50s, about how we needed to pay our bills and our grocery budget before we worried about my sister's bills, because she was an adult, had 2 jobs. She got free daycare, she got free babysitting. What else did she need, And I didn't have kids, obviously. So my mother said, I curse you, I curse you. You're going to get the family curse. And I'm like, okay, what curse would that be, right? And she goes, you're going to get a kid 7 times as bad as you. 7 times as bad as you. And I go, wow, so I'm going to get a kid that busts their ass, works 14 jobs, goes to school, pays my bills. Oh, gee, I hope I get that curse. Please curse me with a good child, please. I was like, because my older siblings were all wild and stuff, and there was nothing gonna get past my mom, so might as well not try, right? I never wanted that curse of a kid like me. It's just I saved the world from Satan's child. uh, That's neat, though. That you worked at your parents' restaurant, Blissful. See, I was always responsibility driven. My responsibilities, responsibilities, responsibilities. But like, um, I think that's because I did grow up where um, my mother had issues, where she had a personality disorder, and then she also had depression and recovered alcoholic and drug addict. So I grew up with her till I was 12, 13 before, well, I want to say I was 11 or 12 when she got sober. But still, the behaviors are still there here a little bit. The tendency to be a little irresponsible when it came to money and stuff like that. She was never good with money, ever. No matter how many years in recovery she spent, she was never good with money. Somebody'd come to her. I'm not saying she wouldn't get the shirt off her back, because she would. But the problem was at the expense of herself or her own household. Oh, wow. Really, Texas? Well, you know what? My parents divorced when I was 3 months old. Their divorce was final. I never lived with my dad. I stayed with him on the weekends when I was real small, but then we moved and it was impossible. When I was in my teens, he went to court and he wanted to get custody of me. Probably so he didn't have to pay child support, whatever. But um, I could have, in where I live, when you hit 12, you can make that decision. But I didn't want to go live with my dad. I wanted to live with my dad. I did. But I felt obligated that if I went to live with my dad, who was going to take care of my mother? You know? She was she wasn't stable enough to take care of herself. Let's put it that way. So I couldn't just walk away from the woman. It was like, I don't know if anybody else understands what it's like when you grow up with parents that are addicts or alcoholics, that you have to sometimes put yourself in the place where you're taking care of them, or they don't, or things don't get done. You're half good and half evil. So you have to grow up real fast. That's why I have no room for the petty stuff that goes on here, on YouTube. I mean, I'll watch some things, but oh, I'm muted? Can you hear me? Ah. Oh, it's your phone? Quit messing with me, 71. Quit messing with me. That's okay. I still loves ya. Oh, wow. And I also understand it's like, because I have siblings that, did take a different path. They did get immersed in alcohol and drugs. But I didn't. I don't think it makes me any better. It just makes me. I saw them mess up and said, oh, don't want to do that. You have a Chromebook because you hate technology? Blissful. I tell you, it's funny. Okay. So, my boy, Dominic, he gets his income tax back, and this is a couple of years ago, and he wants to get a laptop. And he's a bit impulsive, and that's part of his ADHD. And I'm going to do a live on that, not just about him, but I'm going to do a live probably next week on, you guys probably won't be interested because a lot of you don't have kids, but I'm going to do a daytime live about raising kids with ADHD, okay? Because there's some tricks to it. And I got two. So, and one's male and one's female, so there's differences in kids, in people with ADHD that are male and female, so this, how it shows up is different. So, anyway, he's impulsive, very impulsive. The kid has, he decides he's going to do it, he does it real quick. So, he gets online, and I think it was Wish or something like that. He gets this Chromebook and just orders it. Then when he gets it, he complains because he spent basically, he thought he was getting a good deal, like $197, and he thought he was getting a laptop, and it turned out to be this little Chromebook, and then we heard nothing but complaining. So then he gets his next income tax return or whatever later on, something else, and he goes and his dad says, Mr. G goes, okay, I'm telling his son, this time wait for me, I'll help you order a proper one that'll be good for your gaming and everything you want to do on it. And he goes, we're going to do it Wednesday. Okay, Dad, we'll do this Wednesday. So Tuesday he gets on there because he just wants to look. He wants to look and get a general idea of what he wants to get. He goes and he sees something he likes, boom, automatically orders it instead of, consulting with his dad. He gets it and he's all mad because it didn't have that much data. Or not data, memory. Then he had it for about 8 months and spilled water on it. Oh, driving's not that hard. You just aim at the road. See? And that's what my husband's like, don't buy. Spend like $500-600 on something and it not have any memory at all. Then he complained because it was too slow to do what he needed half the time. And then he ended up spilling water on it. And, well, what he did is, we have a coffee table, right? And he's sitting on the floor next to the coffee table. And he goes and gets a glass of water and he sets it right down on the coffee table. And I said, don't set that right there when you're sitting next to it with the, like, I said, never have water near electronics. And he goes, it'll be okay. I said, no, it won't. And as soon as I said that, my daughter's cat jumped up and knocked the water over, and it landed on his, all over his keyboard, right his computer. That happened like 5 or 6 months ago, and he's still screaming about it to this day. Like, hey, I told you that was a bad idea. I said, and you can't blame a cat who always lays across this coffee table anyway. You know she does it, that she was going to do that. I predicted it. You used to have a shopping addiction. It's always the cat's fault, don't you know? Yeah. It's just blame the animals. Oh boy. And he's always going, your cat, and I'm like, it's your sister's cat. And just earlier that day, you were claiming it as your cat. Because it's just the fluffiest, sweetest little kitty in the world. Oh, wow. Nugget disappeared. You don't do anything in moderation, huh? Premeditated ruination. Oh, wow. I don't know. I mean, this... I tell you what, this cat is like... She's huge. I'm not gonna lie, she's huge. I mean, when we got her... She was 6 weeks old. So she's about 1.5 years old right now. But by the time she was 1 year old, 9 months old, this cat was full grown, and she was bigger than our dogs, you know. And when we have Chihuahuas, and she is bigger than most tomcats. She's huge, and she runs like she's a kitten still. Just like, she will knock doors open. She will sit there and, like if I'm sitting on the porch or something, I'll hear the doorknob turning back and forth, and she's up on the, we have a long couch, and then we have a love seat couch that all the seats recline except for the center of the long couch. She'll get up on the long couch next to the door and just use her paws and try to turn the doorknob. And she can actually she'll stand on her hind legs, and we have our bedroom doors have those not the knobs but the handles that you could just hit with your elbow if you needed to. If you're carrying something, you just push down on it and it'll open. She'll use her body weight to pull it down and open a door.
What?
I was talking about Mocha,
Huh.
because I've seen her open your door before.
Yeah, she smacked through the crap. My door?
Yeah, the handle.
Mine's... Wait, she
She
pulls
used
it
her
down.
body weight to pull the handle down.
She is quite the smart cat. I
The
need to start
lever
locking my
handle
door.
or-
I gotta start locking my door now. Because she's just gonna get in there and lay on everything. It's gonna smell like mocha.
It's gonna smell. Your room's gonna smell like mocha.
Yeah, and I prefer
To
it
smell
smelling
like Diva?
Ah, duh.
She's only done that once though. But once she figured out there's nothing in your room, she's like, eh,
She wanders around my room all the time. I have to go out.
meanders. But for a cat to sit there and try to exit. You know that's, you're talking about stealing gnomes, okay? I bought a gnome for real, like one of those heavy. It was probably about a foot and a half, 2 feet tall gnome. And I had it sitting in like there's a section of like rocks and bushes in front of my deck, and I put it right there in between these little small bushes. And when my granddaughter, who's 8 now, when she was like a year and a half, 2 years old, she'd see that gnome standing there, and because she lived with us at the time, she'd come out pointing her finger, and she would just start just flipping out on that gnome. Don't look at me! I told you, stop looking at me. Stop staring at me. She was trying to knock the gnome down, and the gnome just would wobble back up because it was made of like concrete or something. And she would just flip out. Just, I don't like you looking at me. Oh, my gnome came up missing not last year, but the year before. I was so mad. Somebody stole my damn gnome. Right out my yard. The children see the evil of gnomes. I don't know, but she did not like that gnome. And she told him, get out. Get out of here. You need to go. She don't even like those movies, the Romeo and Juliet. Mm-mm. She don't even like that. She hates gnomes. Tiny stuffed monkey mooch that runs around at night. She will have no part of that, man. She was gonna kill it, man. But this kid will be like, okay, let's watch this scary movie. Let's watch that scary movie. And no scary movie really scares her. She just laughs at him and she enjoys them. I'm like, yeah, you're definitely related to your grandmother. I have a fairy garden with statues my nephew brought one of his Iron Man figures to keep the fairies safe. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh gosh, I remember those troll dolls. Oh my gosh. Where you'd sit there and remember the little littler ones that you could put on the end of a pencil, and you would sit there and like move the pencil back and forth and its hair would go all over. Oh my Oh my goodness. My cousin collected those darn troll dolls back in the, I want to say late 70s, early 80s. She had a lot of creepy things though. She had those dolls that changed faces, that like the head would flip and it would be a different face. Wow. See, we have fun talking about the weirdest things, don't we? you want a stuffed monkey or you want a troll doll? Aw, good night, Gigi. Thanks for stopping by. You gotta have Derek come on one night. We'll do some spooky paranormal stuff. That'd be fun. Have two mediums on panel. That'd be fun. Maybe we can get Tam on too. See how much havoc we could cause. Oh my goodness, my dogs are freaking out a little. Yeah, we talked about doing, I don't know how you guys feel about that. I know a lot of people don't believe in it, but that's up to them. But when you've lived it, you've lived it. I've talked to Tam about doing that. I thought it'd be fun to, like, at least monthly or, every, oh, it's okay. Every couple weeks, have like a medium panel where we could talk about something. Like, take a case and talk about it. He's off on Wednesday after 10. You know what? We could do that. I could do that. That'd be fun. I'd love to have him. He's a good guy. I don't know. I get him. Oh, I tell you, Blissful, I tell you. See, and I'm one of those people that's like, there's people that are gifted. There are people that are gifted. And then there are people that are not, or are not to the point where they think they are. If that makes sense. Because when you go your whole life dealing with that kind of thing, it becomes secondhand to you, right? And seeing some people, it works different for different people. And it can manifest at any time in someone's life. But you can't, hold on. But you can't just tap into it and get the winning lottery numbers, and you can't just, when you're tapping into things, you can't always get who you request. You know what I mean? And it's not always smart to ask for somebody specific, because anything can come forward and say that they're that particular person, you know? It's where you walk a fine line. Like, you don't get on a spirit box and be like, can I talk to a murder victim, this specific murder victim? You know what I mean? You're not always going to get that person. You could get something that claims it's that person. It can get scary. And oh my gosh, you cannot get on and start demanding. Okay. I don't know if you've done any spirit work before. Blissful, I don't know if you have. But you're pretend drinking. Hey, as long as you don't get a pretend hangover. Um, but when you do stuff like that, you can't sit there and, yeah, spirit boxes. Some people don't. Okay, you see them, but you haven't. Okay, there's some people that see them. Some people can hear them. Some can communicate with them. Um, the only thing that I warn people about, and you're smart, you are obviously smart, is people need to be real careful when they're staring in the abyss, because the abyss does stare back. And they don't realize it. And that's where you get people that get messed up. And then they get attachments. And I'm not going to say I've never had an attachment. I have, and I've gotten rid of them, but I've usually been really careful about when delving into that stuff. I usually get but I've also been able to touch somebody and just see things that I don't want to see. I was even at a point in my life where I kept gloves on. Like Michael Jackson or something, you know what I mean? Because I didn't want to touch someone. Because I might see something, and sometimes they know when you see it, and if it's a particularly criminal activity, which I have seen stuff like that before, and you just get, you look at them in your eyes, you can't help your reaction, you know what I mean? And they know you know. Oh. The other night, I caught the fragrance of perfume in a room that used to be a linen closet. It happens every few months. Oh, yes. You know what the most common scents are? People tend to smell rose oil, or the smell of roses, or lilacs. Once in a while, you'll get honeysuckle. But it has gotten to the point, like I said, that I've grown so used to it. There's a hallway right outside my bedroom. And if I take a right, I go into the bathroom. If I keep going straight, I'm going down a hallway. Okay? And there's so many times that I'll walk to go to the bathroom, or I'll go to get a glass of water in the kitchen, and then I'll bump into somebody, and I'll go, oh, excuse me, and then I'll look, and nobody's, it's a dark figure, or a figure of somebody, and then I'm like, I'll still walk around them and say, excuse me, And I don't freak out now. I'm so desensitized to it, it doesn't scare me. But if I bump into a real person, I mean, like one of my kids, I'll jump and scream. Honeysuckle. Mm-hmm. Well, it's a good thing. Usually, if you're gonna, you smell a faint, like flowery scent, then it's nothing bad. It's what you have to worry about is not so much the musty. The musty just usually is somebody that's been gone for quite a while. But rotting meat, sulfur, burning singed skin, yeah, stuff like that. That's what you have to worry about. And if you say something to them, they'll be like, "You could see me," and then they'll sometimes bug you. Can you tell someone, you know, a lot of times that I've had spirits come to me that I've already passed over, it's usually not to run and give a message to a family member. It's usually they want to show me what happened. They want somebody to bear witness to what happened. And almost like they cannot rest without telling someone their side of the story. You've smelled rotting dead animals, and yes. See, that's not a good sign. But you also live in a farmhouse, it could be a dead mouse in the wall. Our house was built in the 1800s, and there is what feels like a wet blanket of sadness, yeah. Okay, yeah. You know, are you renting, or is it, or do your parents have the deed? Or something? They're blissful. Because I can tell you how to go about doing that. Hey, how's it going, Dave? Good to see you, honey. See, if it's, either way, even if it's a rental or one, hey, mama, good to see you, sweetheart. The way you can research the house or property, like I said, you don't even have to own it. I went to the library and found information on a house that I used to do that all the time and find information on certain addresses that I was, whenever I was asked to investigate a house for a haunting back in the 80s and 90s, you could go and find it in your county library or your city library. Sometimes you could find what's called microfiche, the little microfilm things. You go in there and you basically go through those. Now you can just run a check sometimes on your computer if you have the address. County assessors. Yeah. There's lots of ways to run back a check. So many ways. But that's how I found out some stuff. But one of the major houses that I was in that was a continual haunting was um, built in like 1849 is what we found out. Oh, used to call it the sad house. Seriously, boys? You are antsy. Yeah, we're just talking spooky stuff now, Mama. Hope you're not easily scared. But yeah, what I have learned from years of like paranormal research, being a medium, is do not, do not, and I cannot stress enough, try to bring forth a certain entity or spirit. Because 9 times out of 10, you are not going to get that entity or spirit. You're going to get something else. But if you're open about it, like in your house, you're like, okay, I would like to call forth whoever smells like honeysuckle. That kind of thing you can do. Sing Crouton back. He's riling up the boys. Well, it's past their bedtime. They're used to me telling them, go night-night at like 8, 9 o'clock and going back to my room. But they like to be wherever I am. I have one that's got to be practically parked in my butt crack. Anybody. My mom and I call the spirits visitors. I truly believe it's family members checking in on us. Now that is a possibility. It's always a possibility. Hey Paige, how's it going, sweetheart? Come on in and join the fun. I mean, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen possession. And there's a secret to dealing with that. And the secret is you never show fear. You show fear, and you're going to have some massive trouble. Now, that is, and the most common time for them to join you or like visit you is usually in sleep mode. Because if you think about it, you go to sleep, right? And our bodies are on autopilot, right? And our minds are freed up from the days going on, you know, what's going on during the day. So your mind's kind of free floating, you know? That's when we process things, we think through things, we dream, right? And that's why they come in that at that time. It's like a thin veil. Yeah. And a lot of times if you're really on the same page with a lot of your loved ones, you can actually feel who it is. I'm gonna tell you. Yeah. I've even learned a lot of people will get night terrors. Night terrors have something to do with that. Um, you can control those. Um, you just gotta like take control. Don't panic. I honestly believe my sister-in-law is demon possessed because they have tested her for absolutely every mental illness they could, and she has none of them, and her behavior scares me. Okay, how long has this been going on, Paige? If you wanna hop on, anybody wants to hop on panel, I put it out there for you. Okay, blissful. Um, yeah, sometimes you'll connect with people that you have a strong connection with. And night terrors. Well, I get the ones where you wake up, you know what I'm saying, or you're just frozen, right? And I have learned that my mind will wake up sometimes while my body is still on that autopilot, and I'll look around and I'll look around and I'll look around. And what's really cool is I've learned to do this anytime. If I get into a relaxed state, whether I'm like paralyzed like that or not, that if I get in a certain rhythm, that I can look around and see different parts of the bedroom or whatever room I'm in, and I can actually see everything in the room without opening my eyes. It's kind of cool.
I finally fixed my audio on my phone. I just need it actually.
Huh?
I can use wired earbuds on my phone. I fixed it just so where most of the sound goes in one ear rather than the other. And then I glitched it by having it go in both ears
Yeah.
by using mono audio.
Oh, okay.
So
You're smart. You're a techno wizard. Nugget. You feel more peace when your mom and dad visit. Oh, that's so sweet, Paige. You got your aunt's bedroom suite after she passed. Feel someone sitting on the bed and getting up. Yeah, that's not uncommon. But you're also very sensitive, Mama. You're very sensitive and empathetic. And a lot of times when someone's a sensitive soul like you are going to pick up things that other people aren't going to pick up on. You know? Oh, Texas never cooks or anything. Where'd you go, Nugget? Yes. See, you're gonna feel things around you, and what I have found out is it is so easy for people that actually have a gift to get overwhelmed, to pick up other emotions, to get really upset, or you might have crying spells. Oh my gosh, I didn't see you. I'm sorry, Mama. Just give me a minute. I'll pop it down again. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to put them to bed. Hey, sweetheart.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm just laying here listening to y'all. Um, I got my aunt had brain cancer and she passed away a couple of years ago, and I was with her the whole time, and I got her bedroom suit. She had a big king size bedroom suit. It was really nice, and and also I got her Rottweiler too, and it slept in the bed with her too, and I had it until it was got old and passed away, and because it was already pretty old when we got it. But I swear I can feel somebody getting in the bed or getting off the bed when I'm in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it happens a lot. It's not just that one time. And I said I know, and I tried to say something. I was like I can feel it. So they said, well, it's probably the bed like settling. No, I can literally feel it. I can
Yeah,
just lay here and feel it. It's like somebody getting up off the bed. You know how it feels if somebody gets up. And
that
it happens
shi
a lot.
that shifting weight. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, it
and
happens.
you can't just be laying here and it's going to do that just because the bed's settling after I'm laying here for,
Mm-mm.
and it'll be worrying me. I'll be like, yep. But I think it's just probably either her or she always let the dog sleep with her too. And I always think, well, it could have been the dog because we kept the dog too afterwards. And
Yeah,
we loved that dog. It was like the best ever. And
that's well.
it just scared me to death. But after I thought about it, I thought it's probably either her or the dog, so it didn't bother me no more after that.
Well, yeah. They have a way of communicating because I want to say my closest sister died unexpectedly, like in December of 2020,
Yeah.
and and like she had a stroke. You know, we weren't expecting it. None of that. She went in for. She had hand. It's called hand heart Wolfram's syndrome, and they didn't discover it for years. But anyway, basically, you have like a faulty part of your heart. So her heart was always going out of rhythm. Like she was always getting AFib. So she'd have to go to the hospital and they'd have to shock her heart back into rhythm.
Mm.
And this is one of the times she went in, but she was also having to do a procedure, and boom, she had a stroke during the procedure, and she never woke up from it.
Oh,
So, um, right after that happened, um, my niece called me just crying, and I couldn't understand her. And I called her back and I said, "What's going on? I can't understand what you're saying." And then she explained to me that her mom was on life support. And I'm like, I just talked to her, um, because we talked like 3 times a week. Because she lived in Arkansas and I live in Iowa. So we'd always be on the phone with each other. And I'm like, what? And I go, this uh, the other thing is my birthday's the 14th of October. Hers is the 15th. So we'd always celebrate our birthday together. Stuff like that. So we were pretty close. Um, and it was, I mean, that I had just went through cervical cancer and treatment at that point in 2020. And she was upset because I didn't tell her that I was doing it, you know, until after. I was like, well, I got my results back, and I told. She goes, well, you didn't even tell me you had. And I'm like, well, you know, because I didn't know anything, you know, I didn't want to panic anyone, you know.
Yeah.
And well, you tell me stuff like that, you know. I'm like, ooh, okay. But anyway, right after she passed, and she passed like the 22nd, 23rd of December, right before Christmas. And I kid you not, I was laying in bed, and the TV was on real low, and my husband was asleep, and then I hear bang, 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 real loud knocks on the wall. I jump up, and it's like right next to my closet. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm used to seeing things. I'm used to hearing things. But knocks are new to me, you know? And I'm like, okay. Can you just tell me what you want to tell me after I go to sleep? So then I get up, go out in the living room, or like the kitchen living room, and, you know, I have an open concept kitchen, and I get something to drink. And I go back. Oh, and my son was out here watching TV, and he said, what was that sound? And I said, I don't know. My wall just knocked 3 times. I went to go lay down again. Bang, bang, bang. And at that time, I was expecting what is going to happen. You know, I'm like, and my closet door was just throbbing. You know, like, boom, with each knock. I go to open it, and I'm like, you know, what the hell? Close it. I go to lay down, and my headboard knocks 3 times.
Girl, I would have been outraged. 3 knocks, I'm gone.
I said, okay, I'm going to acknowledge you now, okay? And I said her name, and I said, just talk to me in my dreams, please. You're going to wake the house. And my son comes running in the bedroom because he hears it all. And he's like, Mom, that was so loud I heard it out in the living room again. And it sounded like it was coming from the wall by the TV, but it was coming from your bedroom. And the funny thing is, I was like, okay. So then after that, I had a cookie sheet on the stove. It was clean. It was just sitting on the back of the stove. It flew off the stove and landed on the floor.
Yep. I would have been out of there.
And he looks at me, and I look at him, and he goes, who is it? And I was like, it's got to be her, you know. And then the cookie sheet went like ting, 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 ting on the floor, like rock back and forth. And nobody was touching it. And I go, okay, well, I told you can wait. You're impatient. But stuff like that would happen for a few months. And I was talking to my other 2 sisters. I take care of them, right? The one that passed from ovarian cancer in this January.
Wow.
How
many siblings did you have?
Bad luck, right? I was telling her, and she goes, well, some weird stuff's been happening around here, you know? And she's always been able to communicate and see things too. So, yeah.
How many siblings do you have?
Um, my parents had 8 together.
Wow.
And then my dad had another son and a daughter.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of us that grew up together, and then there's, I want to say there's at least 3 of us that are mediums.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I've noticed is the bed thing. And I would be laying here and thinking somebody is getting in the bed, and I would get up and I'd be like looking
Mm-hmm.
around, and I'd sit here for a second, and I mean, I could just literally feel them getting in the bed, but I couldn't see nothing,
You know, there was
and it was just weird.
a water bed that would happen, like in my grandparents' house, a water bed.
I used to have a waterbed a long time ago. I remember it was a long time ago.
And you know what's creepy is like whenever that would happen in that water bed,
It would roll.
you'd see the indent.
Oh Lord.
Oh my gosh. I got so used to it though. I mean, at first, the first couple times I was freaking out because I was only like 15. But then I put 2 and 2 together and I'm like, okay, I know what's going on. And the house was built in 1961 and the only person that died in that house died in that room. And it was my grandfather who passed away from lung cancer. And I'm like, okay, Grandpa, it's you're scaring me. Please stop doing this. And it stopped.
Well, mine after I had happened several times, and I acknowledged that, it has to be Debbie or
Mm-hmm.
or Roxy or whichever one. I said it's got to be either one of them. It hasn't done it here lately, or I'm just used to it now that it don't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's like when she first passed away, and I got the bedroom suit, I felt it just all the time, and I would be like, something is climbing that bed. I don't care what anybody tells me. I can feel it. And it's not when I first laid in. I could be laying in the bed and just all of a sudden you could feel like somebody's climbing up. It's always at the foot of the bed too. It's never up this way. It always be at the foot of the bed, and it would just scare me to death. And I just finally thought, well, it's probably Debbie or Roxy, one of them, because I got Debbie's bed. And she went so fast. She got brain cancer, and
Oh,
I mean, she was very pretty. Just in a year, it took her that quick, and she went from looking like her age to like 80. Like you would think she was an old woman at the end of that year. It just totally changed her whole looks and everything. I mean, it's, cancer is awful. It
yeah.
made us age so fast and so quick, and it was terrible.
My sister that passed away in January, she fought hers for 9 years.
Wow.
9 years. And it was like, wow. And she had like three, she went into remission 3 times. But eventually whenever it came back, it would come back worse and worse. And she just couldn't fight it anymore. And she's a twin. So, and our other sister had to go into a nursing home because her twin, because she caught COVID and she has lung cancer.
Oh no, terrible.
So it's like they had to really keep, have round the clock care then.
I know
Um,
over here, anybody goes in with COVID over here in our hospital, it seems like they don't come out. It's
mm,
like once you go in, it's like they don't come back out for some reason.
well, in this area, they have like, I mean, there's a lot of hospitals because I live right next to a major city,
Yeah.
and there's tons of hospitals, but they tend to have other places like certain facilities that were nursing homes or whatever that have special wings for people recovering from COVID,
Mm.
so that they can just transfer them. It's it's insane, but oh yeah, it's but I was expecting something when she passed away because she's one of the ones that was a medium. So I'm like, she gonna be talking to me. But she would tell me in the last 2 months she kept seeing black owls. Black owls. And I'm like, what?
Oh, I thought you said black out. So I was like,
No,
an
O
owl.
an owl. OWL. An owl. I was black owls? You know, I mean, I was like, okay, I've heard of seeing crows or ravens, right?
Yeah, I
But
never heard of owl.
I was like, wow. And I guess it's a real thing. But she saw, like, she goes, I came outside and I saw perched up on the garage, on a, like, up on the garage roof, 3 black owls. She goes, broad daylight. She goes, and they keep flying and landing there. And I go, that's weird, especially in daylight, owls, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, she goes, I'm telling you, my days are numbered. And I'm like, I don't know, you know.
I've been scared to death too. Well, she knew, kind of. So
Well,
she called it.
she kept saying, I'm done. I'm sick of fighting. She goes, I've been doing this for years. I've been fighting this for 9 years. She goes, I'm exhausted. She goes, I've seen 2 of our siblings pass before me. I don't want to see another one go. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, we've already lost our parents, our grandma. She goes, I can't do it anymore. And she goes, and I go, but you know, you got these kids and you got these grandkids, you know?
Tired.
She goes, I've accepted it, but, you know, yeah. I was like, oh, you know. But I was with her right before she passed, so.
That was the same thing. We was there when she took the last breath. She was at home too. She stayed at home, and it's like they wake up and it seems like they're getting better right at the end, and then they're gone. You know what I mean? It seems like they
Yep.
get I don't know. I've seen that in several.
Second wind.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, she's getting better.
Hmm.
No, it was what, and I've seen that happen to a couple of people do that.
You know, the first time I ever heard of that happening, I was real young. Um, of the, you know, getting better and then boom. Uh, my sister had a baby pass away. Okay, of SIDS.
Mm.
He had pneumonia and been in the hospital. Okay, and he got well from the pneumonia and he was doing real well and everything cleared up. He was home for 48 hours and then boom, he was gone. He was gone. And she had a second child. He was okay. Then she lost her third same way. He caught pneumonia, got home from the hospital, was doing well, and passed away. So I mean, and she's never been right after that. She has 7 children. She lost 2 of them to SIDS.
Yes.
Astronomical odds, but
Yeah, you didn't have to sleep. One
but
is like
but
two of
well,
them. Losing a kid, that had to be the hardest thing. You know, man, especially after I was watching something on YouTube of all things. I was watching other things that I seen, and they had this thing where these women lost their baby, and it was telling a little story and stuff. I was in there bawling. I said, I got to turn this stuff now.
right.
But
Well,
I've
you
been
know,
all this drama stuff. This other stuff make me cry.
right. I mean, that's what I mean. All I know is like when I had my daughter, or, you know, when I had my children, my mom kept going, okay, every time that you have a baby, you need to get them tested because they can test for that now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They can test in the, you know, and I only had one that showed up with it. And it
Mm.
was my oldest, and she was on a monitor for the first year of her life.
Oh yeah, they got those things you can put on their feet or something, don't they, or something?
It was like, it's like wires and electro, like those little, like almost when you get a, like those little pads, adhesive
Yeah, yeah.
pads. Okay, so she had those, and one, like a pad would go under a, like a foam belt around her waist, and then another one around her, like where her heart
Would
was.
it make a loud sound if they stop breathing or if they?
Yep, and they can tell if they stop breathing or if the heart starts to go up. Not just if it stops.
Yeah.
If the heart goes out of rhythm at all. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you pull, it's a lead wire. If you pull a lead wire, like she'd roll over, and if she pulled the lead wire, that thing was going off.
Well, that's give me a heart attack.
But you could tell the difference between an actual alarm.
Oh, okay.
It would be like,
Some
and
muffled
the,
or something where she rode over.
yep, it was a different sound, but it only went off once. Really went off once. And they said after a year she wouldn't need it. And they tested her again after a year, and they said she'll be okay.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm like, ugh. But we did have one alarm, and that was enough, man.
No, I was scared. Me, man.
I was
I
like,
tried
that's
that bed
enough.
so fast I've been tripping over stuff trying to get in there. Tripping over my own feet trying to get up in there.
Oh yeah, that was enough for me, man. And like we thought we were only gonna have one, huh? But I got all of them. The rest of the other four were checked, and everybody else came out fine. So I'm like, yay. Didn't mean I didn't sleep with one eye open.
Mhm. I'm glad I called you 2 times. Ain't that awesome? I just was looking on there, and I guess I didn't. I do get notifications, but sometimes I just don't look on my phone. But I looked on my phone. I saw you. I said, "Oh, that's Jimmy. I gotta go over there and aggravate them."
Right? Well, I only decided to go on because nobody else was on,
I
you know?
know.
And I was like,
I
well,
have
I
to
should
turn
say
the channels
no.
and turn in and turn in, and try to find something.
Well, let's see. I mean, I was like, well, nobody else is on. But when I scheduled it, after I scheduled it, um, MCF came on. And I'm like, I've already scheduled it, you know? I'll pop in
MCL, who's that?
Brittany, remember? Mystery Case Files.
Oh, I didn't know she ever went back live or anything, or started again.
I guess she just started it. And it might be because of all the stuff that's going around now with that Heather
Um,
stuff. With the Heather stuff coming
oh,
out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Cratchit and Kim was on. They were talking about that and unmurdered Heather stuff.
Hmm.
I don't,
And
and,
they're all, everybody's going, Brittany was right. Brittany was right. So
and
maybe that gave her the energy to come back, I guess. But good.
she got ran off by Natasha, right? Remember? I think. Is that the same Brittany I'm thinking of?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Got,
okay.
yeah, she got into it with, yeah,
She
yeah,
always smoked, and Natasha would talk about her smoking all the time. She
yeah.
always, yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking bad or anything. I'm just
Well, I
saying,
know.
yeah,
I'm not saying it bad. I just knew Natasha always was talking about her smoking on. She's train smoking and stuff. That's something she always said.
oh,
But
it's, yeah. Well, I mean,
she got. You see where she got her little $3,000 something dollars for investigation fund, and she'll be gone till Sunday. Just so happens she put out a fund, and then she will be gone somewhere till Sunday.
oh
All
gosh,
her fans to take a break from YouTube. Don't be on here watching all these hate channels. They need to go spend time with their family like she does. And YouTube is not all the world don't revolve around YouTube.
nope, nope,
Speaking of her,
nope. I tell
nothing.
you, I take a lot of days off because of my family. I mean, this week like I don't. You won't. I mean, I'll pop into your chat or somebody else's chat,
I really enjoy it when you come over. I really like it.
but like I think it's Mondays. Like a lot of times Mondays I can't get on there because I usually have appointments or uh, I'm doing a lot of stuff on Mondays, prepping I got two teenagers, so I'm getting them set up for the week. So a lot of times well, you know what I'm talking about, Miss.
Yeah, family.
Uh, One of them sitting next to me, she's looking at me like telling my secrets.
I
Um,
don't have any secrets that you can expose on the line.
You
but
never know.
I would never.
Why are you touching me?
I would never. You have green eyes. I told everybody.
Okay.
Woo. No.
You act like that's a crime.
You got your mom's green eyes. Oh. But
Yours are more of an annoying green.
mine are annoying. You got the pretty seafoam green eyes. But
You got
yeah.
two teenage daughters, or just say a
I've
daughter
got-
and son?
Yes, I've got a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old. Well, they're almost 14 and 15. They will be in a couple months.
Well, they started getting expensive around them years.
They are.
If you just doxed my age, I will hit you.
She's gonna copy. She's gonna strike you.
I'm not joking.
You're 1,000.
No, it's just not okay to dox someone like that.
Okay.
Plus, I'm considered a minor, so.
Okay.
You're
Anyway,
more
they're
serious.
teenagers. Yeah, they're the younger two, and then we have a 22-year-old son, and then a 25-year-old. Wait, he's 22. Wait, he just turned 23, didn't he?
No, 23.
No, he just turned 23.
That sounds like me. I got my older kids, and then Landon's 6, and the other
Right.
ones are 20, 25, and 26, I think.
I've
It's
got like
a person.
my oldest is 29. Then the other one after her is 25, so he just turned 20. Or she turned 24. He just turned 23. So boom, 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 boom. And everybody's always like, same dad? Yes.
We all have the same dad, unfortunately.
Y'all had the same mama and daddy.
I wish I didn't.
We thought we was done.
Sure, you didn't mess with milkman, nothing like that.
Well, how it works is when you think you're done, and just as you think you're done and give away all your baby stuff, you end up pregnant.
That's amazing. Mine was about to graduate, my last one,
I'm doing
and
it.
I turned 40, and they said, "You're pregnant." I said, "No, I'm not."
Yeah, you're like,
Lord
"Nope."
knows I was. So I started all back over. Now I got one in kindergarten,
Right?
and the rest of them are graduated and gone.
I tell you one that threw me off is my brother, his first wife. When I met her family, it was like, what? Her mom and her dad had already, they got together, it was their second marriage, right? They had adult children, right?
Mm-hmm.
And her mom was 50 something.
Don't look at me.
No, I'm trying to remember. I think she was 58, 57, 58. And her dad was 52. And they ended up getting pregnant with her. It was a change of life.
Wow.
Change of life, baby. It was not on
I'm
purpose.
saying.
She thought she was already done. She thought she was going through menopause, and she got pregnant during menopause.
Oh, goodness.
And she just passed away this year, and she was 97.
Oh.
And my niece, it broke her heart. But I thought it was pretty cool that, she had her grandma that long. I was like,
Mhm.
amazing. Be 97 years old, and I was
Yeah, you
like,
see some women like in the nursing home, some like 102, and I'm like, how in the world? They must have lived a good life.
oh, no kidding.
But
It's
I
like,
think the ones that work the hardest, like the older women that worked really hard back then, I think they outlive everybody.
oh, yeah. My great grandma, She outlived all 5 of her kids. I was talking about that one night. I was like, she was like 96 years old and died in the nursing home. And she didn't go into the nursing home except for like she got real sick with her. She wasn't taking care of her diabetes. She was diabetic. So they put her in the nursing home. She ended up getting like ulcers on her
Mm.
and got gangrene in her leg. And she had to have her one leg amputated. So she was in a wheelchair then. And then she got the second leg amputated, and then shortly after that, she died after that. But I can remember my mom going, "Wow," because because it was her grandma. Her grandma outlasted all her aunts and uncles and her dad, and I'm like, and then my grandmother, because it was my grandmother's mother-in-law, right? I was like, Dad, the old biddy died, like, really? But I was like, whoa. I was like, I liked her. She was she was always good to me, and they're like, she hated kids. I was like, she was always nice to me, She was always real nice to me. Well, she picked her favorites. Well, I guess I was one of her favorites then.
Yep, a lot of people do. They pick their favorites.
Oh,
But
yeah. People cannot tell me. My husband jokes around and says, I don't have favorites. I was like, yeah, you do. You do, too. You keep pointing at yourself there. I was like, yes, you do. Because I have my favorites. I'm not going to lie.
I never tell.
Yeah,
My,
you've got to
my
say,
grandson, he'll say, Mimi, who's your favorite? I said, all of y'all are my favorite. He said, you can only have one favorite. And I said, no, all of y'all are my favorites. And then I say, wink, wink. And he'll start laughing.
well, yeah, I mean, my kids are like, we already know. I'm like, okay, well, then, if you know, take a stab at it. Guess, and, for the longest time, they'll be like, oh, it's got to be him, it's got to be the boy. It's got to be the boy because it's only, he's the only boy.
See, Matthew used to think he was a favorite, and then when I had Landon, now he says Landon's spoiled. He's got to be the favorite now, and he is just he's 20, and he's still a mama's baby.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get rid of him. I think he's gonna be 45 still living home. He's so spoiled.
Well, I always said that it's like boys tend to do that. I mean, they love their mamas. You
Yep.
know, my boy. I shouldn't say that because my girls love me too.
I don't know. I have a daughter and a son. I was close to both of them, but I don't know that the boy it just I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
I know.
I love them all the same, but I just had he was like the mom. He was like my baby. He was the last one. I
Yeah.
thought never had a game, but he was the last one for a long time, and you
Yep.
weren't. You're cherishing that last one. Like, oh, this is the last one I have. I better. But and then he was spoiled.
Uh
But
huh.
he's good. He'll come talk to me, and so we got to work closer than you know. You see some kids out there the way they treat their parents, and I'm thinking, well, we do have like a bond. Like he'll come and talk to me if he's upset about something. I like that. He won't go out and do that stupid. He'll come and talk to me. And stuff.
Oh yeah. See,
So it's good.
my kids are like my older two girls. They're like they used to hate each other. Now they're close. My youngest two girls are close, and everybody loves the boy. like the older two and the younger two. Everybody.
He's not my favorite sibling.
He's not your favorite. Oh, she is. Sage is. Duh. Oh yeah. That's because you guys are only 13 months apart.
So, doesn't mean I.
They're closer to get.
No, my
They,
favorite sibling could be.
I would say.
I'm not saying Drea. That's a stretch.
Nah. Nah, nah. I
No.
think it works. It works for his benefit because those two would take care, and then you guys worship them. That's how it works.
You got any grandbabies?
Yeah, I have three grandsons and one granddaughter,
Oh,
and they're like 9, 8, 5, and 2.
what do they call you?
Huh?
What do
Oh,
they
what
call
they,
you?
each one of them. Let's see. My oldest grandson. Well, it's usually just grandma.
Okay.
My granddaughter. She usually calls me Grammy, but she calls me Grammy Jenny. And then, and her brother calls me Grandma or Grammy. And then my youngest grandson, the 2-year-old, is Gammy.
So they all different. Mine's Mimi.
Yeah, because the 9-year-old and the 2-year-old are siblings, and the 5 and 8-year-old are siblings. So
Okay.
the ones in the middle are siblings. Yeah, but I have a favorite out of all of them, and they know it. And that would be the only girl.
Ah,
But then again, they understand because she lived here for 3 years. So I had her for the first 3 years of her life, of course.
see, that's what Christopher was. He stayed here too, like that, the first 3 years. My daughter stayed here,
Hmm.
and then when I watched him, even when she went to school and work, he was with me all the time.
Hmm.
So it was like my child almost too. So
Hmm.
she
And
says, Mom, anytime he gets in trouble or something, she says, it's because of the way you raised him. And I was like, yeah, right. Don't blame it on me. You the one raised him.
oh, my granddaughter likes coming. She'll come to my house or whatever for the weekend or.
They're coming tomorrow. They wanted to come tonight, but I didn't feel good earlier.
Yeah.
I changed my medicine, but I think whenever you stop taking the one medicine and you start the other one, when
Hmm.
that one that you stop, it makes you sick if you've been taking it so long. So I
Yep.
just start. I took it well, yes, wait, I took it this morning, early this morning, and now I've been fine all day. But I've been feeling sick the past couple of days since I started that new medicine and stopped this other. So I just went on and took both of them. I thought, well, I ain't gonna be sick all weekend. So I thought it's got to be the medicine because that's when it started. So I took it one this morning and I felt fine today.
See, I feel so bad for people that are, that have to go through that. Where, sorry, my
Like guinea pigs over here.
my son had, has, he's ADHD. Okay, and when they put him on meds, he was 5, right?
That's what my grandson is. He's got ADHD and they have to put him on meds. Or they tell him he can't come to school unless he's got his medication. He's so
Hmm.
hyper.
Well, I mean, I couldn't understand how these people could think that. Okay, things sure changed since we were kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd go into his kindergarten class, and they've got toys all over the place. You know, they've got little kitchen centers and little places for Tonka toys and all sorts of stuff, right? And they
See,
called
they
it.
want them reading in kindergarten now. It's totally changed from when we went.
We didn't have all that stuff. And th-
No.
and then he would get up like whenever they had they were talking about something or reading time. He'd get up and go play with the toys. Well, tempt a kid with toys. Um, or this is what his teacher had an issue with. He would get up, leave the classroom, and go to the bathroom without asking for permission. And well, he wasn't used to asking my permission to go to the bathroom.
My granddaughter does every time she's here. Mimi, I gotta go pee. I say, well, go pee. You ain't gotta tell me, Mimi. Just go to the bathroom. She does it every
Hmm.
time. Because usually I'll go in there with her and talk to her while she's in there
Yep.
and make sure the lights cut on and stuff. And
Yep.
she said, Mimi, I gotta go pee. I said, well,
Yep.
go pee. But now kindergarten, they don't get to play and all that stuff. They expect them to be reading when they leave kindergarten now.
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
crazy.
Oh yeah.
And they don't even teach kids cursive anymore.
Nope.
We,
It's
and we had to learn all that stuff. We did. I wonder why they quit doing that.
well, it's an elective now. Like
Because
they can do it, but it's like an art elective.
and my son, when he went to get his driver's license, the woman told him to sign. Sign your driver's license. And she said,
Mhm.
just write it in cursive. And he looked at me and said, they don't teach us how to do that at school. I was like, what? I didn't even know until he told me. And I was like, what? And he didn't even know how to sign his name in cursive. I said, just join all the letters together.
See, and that's here's the thing. They taught them that much. They taught my kids, like they stopped doing the in cursive after my 29-year-old went through. But they, for my son and daughter that are in their like 23 and 24, they taught them how to do their signature, and that's it. For
So
that,
my son's, he's 25, I think. So that's about the same as yours.
mm-hmm,
He's the one that didn't know how to do cursive.
mm-hmm,
And I was like, well, how they expect them to even sign a signature if they ain't going to teach them how to do cursive?
yep. They told me that, and yeah, they did teach him.
Markets.
He was, I tell you, I was like, you got to be kidding me, but it's they put him on like Adderall, right? And then I had to take him back all the time to the doctors.
That's
for
what Christopher is, and they still, oh, Lord.
Oh, his teacher kept saying it needs to be upped. It needs to be upped.
Then
Needs,
they want them zombified where Christopher, he takes his, but it's like he don't want to eat when he takes his medicine.
exactly.
If he don't want to eat all the whole time he's taking his medicine. So I try to feed him before. He'll be starving before, but if you give him medicine first,
Mm-hmm.
he ain't gonna eat nothing.
Exactly. See, they did that. Like I had to start giving him the extended release, and if he didn't eat breakfast, before he took his meds, he wouldn't eat. And then they had him up so far, right, that he would come home from school, go to his room, and go to sleep.
Wow, that was too much.
And sleep till the next morning. I couldn't get him up for not anything. That's how bad it was. And then my nephew, he has ADHD too. He came to live with us, and he was 17. And he told me, he goes, he would joke, he called me daddy all the time, or dad. It was a joke. Because he didn't have a dad. And I was there all his life. So it was a joke that I was his dad. So he's like, Dad. He goes, or Auntie, He'd be like, this is messed up. He goes, check this out. I'm on this many milligrams, and he's on that many. And he goes, and I'm 17, and he's like at that point 6.
Yes, too much.
He goes, he should not be on that much. And he was worried. And he goes, you need to take him in, get him reevaluated, something. He goes, because he's going to end up not having a liver or something,
All that medicine, yeah. I try to tell my daughter all the time. You need to take him, find out what's going on. He needs to be talking to a counselor and find out what's causing him to be angry. I don't know if the meds cause him to be angry too. Does he get real angry sometimes? Like he just so angry.
Oh, okay, then he might have conduct disorder, which comes along with some ADHD.
He does. There's times he'd be just so happy, and then he could just get so angry, and you can look at him, he look like he's gonna kill you. Just his looks.
Well, they get frustrated.
Yeah, they do.
They get frustrated, and it builds up. with my son, I was like, okay. So that his doctor said every summer take him off the meds, and every like when you're out for Christmas break, take him off his meds.
Okay, I didn't know because see, she'll not give them to him on the weekend sometimes, and I kept telling her you
Yep.
can't do that with that medicine because it'll take him a couple of days to get it right back in his system. When
Hmm.
it comes Monday, you give it to him Monday, and
Yep.
he's not getting it the weekend.
Yep.
I can understand like the break, you get a longer break like that, but or the summer, but you can't do that every weekend.
Nope.
I know my meds. If I quit on 'em, I know about the third day I start feeling sick to my stomach and dizzy feeling,
Hmm.
and then I know I done forgot something.
Well,
So,
we did we got into behavioral modification, which is learning techniques to help them adjust. As they're on medication, and you're like slowly weaning them, like bringing the meds down, the dosages down.
did it
So,
help?
so yeah, what they did is between us, we'd have these meetings at the school all the time. What they did for him is in a traditional classroom, and people don't realize that these kids get overstimulated by their surroundings, right?
Hmm.
So what you have to do is you have to, like, if somebody's tapping a pencil, it would drive him crazy. If you see someone twirling their hair, it would, distract him. So what they did is they put, those partitions like you see in
Those little,
offices.
yeah, the thing, I know what you're talking about.
They put those up. They put him in a cubicle basically in the
So they can get
classroom.
distracted, yeah.
I was like
That's
that.
smart. I thought about that.
And then if the sounds, like there was a lot of sounds going on, and he was getting overstimulated by that, then he could go down to the counseling center with his homework and do it, where it was quiet, or the library. And I'm like
That's
that.
rattling some keys or something.
And by the time he was 11 years old, I had him totally off medication.
That's a dog's. Is it the dog's collar right
Yeah.
here?
Yep. That Wesley. What are you
I
doing,
was
buddy?
like, she must be playing with her keychains. Or that's a
Oh
dog.
gosh, that is my crazy little speckled, one blue-eyed, one brown-eyed dog.
Oh, I did get the puppy. I had to drive all the way to Arkansas to get it.
Mm.
I got a toy poodle.
Aww.
She's so cute, so tiny. She only weighs 2 pounds.
You're
She's
gonna
a
love
little
it. You're
fluff
gonna.
ball.
They do not. I mean, they don't shed really.
She's chewing up everything right now. I guess because she's
Yeah. She's gonna.
baby. And I had put down toys everywhere, and they want to go to everything else but the toys.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. My father-in-law, mother-in-law. That's all they would get is they would get black poodles all the time
That's what this one is, black.
because there's something about their coat where they're hypoallergenic. They
Mm.
shed they shed less than other animals.
Yeah, I had one before, and they never shed really.
Yep. All you have to do is get them groomed sometimes, or groom them yourself. Which
Yeah.
my mother-in-law would take hers to get groomed all the time, like every 6 weeks or so, and then have ribbons put in their hair. I'm like,
Oh,
oh my gosh, really? That's so cute. But or like right there on the ears.
yeah.
I'm like,
She's got enough hair. You could put something up her now.
yep. But they always got, poodles because they're easier to train too.
But she was already potty trained when we got her.
They're smart. They're highly intelligent.
She's got the little sharp little teeth. The little baby teeth are sharp, boy.
Oh yeah. Well, they have to be to cut through those gums.
Mm-hmm. Woo. Cut through mine too. I believe. She'll want to play, and she'll be nibbled on your finger. The little sharp teeth are so sharp.
What I think is, like, what I think's, what I, what I think is cute is like, when you have when I had my kids, one of them, it looked like her teeth were already cut through, because you could see through her gums,
Mm-hmm.
and you could see the little teeth in there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh, that's creepy, that, but she teethed early, she walked early, she talked early, but her skin was so she was so pale and transparent. You know what I mean? You could see the veins in her face
Mm-hmm.
because so she was so pale, and you could still see it when she gets mad. Like she has a throbbing vein in her forehead that that pops out when she's mad. But I also have one that has a birthmark on the, like, where her foot was. Her foot was by her, like, by her temple. So and that's my oldest, and if she gets mad, that birthmark shows up. She has a little footprint on her on her side of her face from her foot, and it's not noticeable unless you know what you're looking for. But I'm like, oh, she's flushed, she's mad, she's drunk, she's upset, whatever, anything
Yeah.
that, like, have you been drinking? No, I haven't been drinking. I know you have.
Well, I guess I'm gonna get down from here, and Landon done fell asleep over here.
Aww.
He come here, he's gonna come up here and lay beside me. He done fell asleep. So I guess I'm gonna jump down, and it was good talking to you tonight.
Good talking to you, sweetheart. Thanks for
And
coming up.
where's Mark at? I ain't see him in chat. Mod of the year.
Yeah, right. Mod of the month. He's gonna get his mod of the month taken away. Hey,
Yeah,
Urban.
I didn't see him. I said, where is he at? We're gonna have to get on to him next time.
Yeah, usually I don't, like, if I go on Fridays or Thursdays, I don't usually see him. I think he golfs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I will talk to y'all tomorrow probably sometime or another.
Okay, I'll talk to you later, sweetheart.
All right. Good night.
Night, honey.
Bye.
Urban, you have a map of Australia? Well, that's gotta be fun. What do you need a map of Australia for? Oh, a birthmark. Do I want to know where the Australia is? Because hers is like right there on her temple and like on her cheekbone. It is funny, and sometimes birthmarks won't show up unless you're flushed, or people don't, half the time, don't even know you have them. But there's an old wives' tale about birthmarks too. You were probably from Australia in a previous life. Nugget can come live with you, 71. Well, she's already potty trained. She's self-sufficient. She cooks for herself, and well, she doesn't always cook for herself, but she will cook for herself. Anything exciting happening tonight? Oh, yeah, she would come with her own electronics. Nah, she's got her own laptop, her own. Yeah, kids these days, man. And then she makes fun of us because, like, well, when we were kids, we didn't have. Not everybody had a computer in their house. Not alone their own laptop or their own private computer. What are you freaking out about, Wesley? Sorry, Wesley's the dog. He's the Dread Pirate Roberts. Wesley. Are you the Dread Pirate Roberts? From Princess Bride? Are you just my little Wesley Snips? Wow. You guys didn't have a TV till you're 28? Had TV but couldn't see the shows. Oh, was the tube out or only sound or something? I know, I mean, my kids don't believe me when I tell them, like, we had a black and white TV when I was a kid, and I was the antenna. Exactly. You remember putting the rabbit ears on and, like, the tinfoil, and, you know, you had to, like, stand on one leg and see, I was the youngest, so it was like, if we wanted to watch, like, Saturday Night Live, I had to be the one to go over, stand by the TV, hold the rabbit ears at a certain angle, and try to watch through my armpit. Oh, wow. You had to get a satellite. We got, like, no, we just didn't have the equipment to mess with. We had a black and white TV, like I said, until 1982. And it was a big deal that we got, like, a 19-inch freaking TV. That was a big deal back then. Oh, I got a 19-inch color TV. I'm hoity-toity. See, we did too. We got, like, we moved, like, we lived out in the country and then we moved to town. And we got a 19-inch color TV. Ooh. And, the actual, like, like transformer or whatever, or that put out cable TV was on the pole in our driveway for the whole town. So it's like they paid for cable, right? And then my parents stopped paying the cable and it got shut off. And we still got cable because it bled into our television anyway. Because it was 15 feet away from our TV. No, like, you had TVs, but the TV station moved their antenna. Yeah, and if you live in like a densely wooded or valleys and stuff like that, it'd be hard to get it. Yeah, we only got like, when we lived out in the country, we only got a couple stations. Because we did live like in the, like a valley with rocky, like rocky hills, or like, you wouldn't think that in Kansas, but there are some places that have like hills that are just cliffs and rocks. And that was the property we lived in, and we lived in the like valley of. So it was a dance just to get one TV show in. So if I wanted to watch Love Boat or Dukes of Hazzard or Dallas, I'd have to stand there and hold the antenna with my tiny little arms in the air. Or standing on a chair. Oh my gosh. I had to do that a lot. I had to stand on a chair and hold the rabbit ears up. You almost went to Kansas once? It's okay, didn't miss much. Mm-hmm. Aluminum foil, yep. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you something crazy. The boy, we get like aluminum foil to cook in or to bake with or whatever, and they go to get it and we're like, where's the aluminum foil, right? And I'd have to check my son's room, right? He would make like little characters with tin foil, or little birds, almost like origami, but with tin foil. Like, he had all these like little creatures that he made with tin foil. Really? Did somebody walk their dog down the street and you hear him, little dude? Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down and go to bed. People walk at 12 at night. Yeah. In this neighborhood, they're crazy. I mean, it's not. How do I put this to be nice? It's not people that have been here for years and years and years. It's like newer people. They came from the wrong other side of town. Like weirdos at random hours. They'll walk up to you and go, "Hey, do you know where this person lives?" No, I don't. Yeah. My kids won't even walk past the yard after a certain hour. You know? And we have like a street light right there. because we live on a corner, you know. But still, Nuh-uh, we too close to that cornfield, girl. I thought if they were like yipping a little that it might be the boy coming home from work, but he's usually not home till later. Anyway, thanks y'all for coming. I appreciate y'all. Catch you on the flip side.